The Bush family, from 2 presidents to 1 prominent Florida governor, has put its stamp on American politics for decades.
Please clap.
One notable exception, however, comes in the form of Billy Bush, first cousin to George W. and Jeb. Billy passed on a career in government for entertainment journalism, and it seemed like he'd never had much of an impact on politics. That is, however, until October 2016, when a tape from behind the scenes of Access Hollywood surfaced, which revealed a lewd conversation between Bush and Republican nominee Donald Trump. The tape threw the election even further into chaos, and since its release, Bush has come under fire for his part in the conversation, resulting in an indefinite suspension from his hosting gig on NBC's Today Show.
NBC News has suspended Billy Bush, the host of today's Third Hour, for his role in that conversation with Donald Trump.
But if you dig around a bit, you'll find that the infamous tape wasn't the only skeleton hiding in Billy Bush's closet. Let's take a look at some of his other shady moments.
No, I don't want it. This is my sweater! This is my new sweater!
Oh, and it's a wrestling match!
Bush League. Before becoming a regular on TV, he hosted a morning radio show in the DC area called the Bush League Morning Show. After only a couple of years, listeners tired of Bush's on-air antics, and he was fired for making inappropriate comments on the show in 2001. As a presenter with Access Hollywood, Bush later gained notoriety among celebrities for his aggressiveness. At the premiere for 2002's Red Dragon, actor Ed Norton talked with several reporters, but ignored Bush. Norton was later heard saying, "I think he's a jackass." In 2004, that year's Oscars host, Billy Crystal, noticed Bush rushing around and aggressively hunting for celebrity interviews before the show began. Crystal couldn't restrain himself, remarking, "This is the most annoying man in show business." And coming from Billy Crystal, that's saying something. Divided loyalties. After joining the Today Show cast as co-anchor, Bush made waves among his colleagues, and apparently not in a good way. According to an insider, Bush is known as more of a frat guy, which apparently led to a rift between Bush and the rest of the cast and crew. Reports from behind the scenes claimed that while covering the Rio Olympics, Bush didn't spend much time after hours with the Today Show gang, opting instead to hang out with his old pals at Access Hollywood. And incidentally, it was while he was hanging out with the Access Hollywood crew that he spotted Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte and landed the interview in which the athlete told his tale of being held at gunpoint. That interview, the world would later learn, turned out to be baloney and caused for yet another conflict between Bush and the rest of the Today Show. Rokered in Rio. It didn't take long for the truth to come out. Lochte had fabricated most of his story about the so-called robbery. During the fallout, Bush and colleague Al Roker got into it on air. Roker started the salvo.
He lied. He lied to you.
Yeah.
He lied to Matt Lauer. Lied to his mom. He left his teammates hanging while he skedaddled.
Bush initially tried to defend Lochte, but Roker wasn't having it.
He certainly lied about some details.
No, he lied. No, Billy.
Some details?
Billy, not
There was
some
no
details.
robbery.
Okay, there was no robbery. There was no pullover. There was nothing. Nobody
There was no
cocked a
gun cocked
to his head.
Hold on,
He lied.
Okay, calm down. Listen.
Both anchors were visibly frustrated, and Bush was left speechless and embarrassed. It wasn't too surprising when Today Show producers tapped longtime anchor Lauer to conduct the follow-up interview with Lochte instead of Bush. Living landmine. When Bush's Access Hollywood co-host Nancy O'Dell resigned in 2009, many fans and industry watchers were caught off guard. However, some have pointed to Bush and his alleged on-set behavior as part of the real reason for her departure. One source told the New York Daily News at the time that the atmosphere at the show was like walking on a landmine because of Billy. He throws tantrums and tirades, and oftentimes for no apparent reason. It was one of several things that had Nancy at her wit's end after 13 years. The insider continued, saying that Nancy was still subjected to Billy's outbursts and blow-ups on set, just like everyone else was. All because he allegedly really wants to be the next Ryan Seacrest. Even after getting away from Bush in 2009, O'Dell would get dragged back into her former colleague's orbit in 2016 in a big, bad way. The Trump tape. By now, you've probably heard or seen at least part of the Access Hollywood tape featuring a disgusting behind-the-scenes conversation between Trump and Bush. What you may not realize is that the woman Trump said he tried and failed to seduce is actually Bush's then co-host Nancy O'Dell.
I moved on her and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and her. She was married, and all of a sudden I see her. She's now got the big phony and everything. She's totally changed her look.
Bush didn't do anything to leap to O'Dell's defense or call Trump out for trying to force himself onto his coworker. But that's not all. As the bus pulls into a parking lot, Bush appears to notice Ariane Zucker, the actress who is waiting to escort the pair onto the set. Get your barf bags ready.
Jeez, your girl's hot as in the purple.
Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes, the Donald has scored!
Whoa!
Oh, my man!
I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
And after all that, having heard everything Trump just had to say about sexually assaulting women, Bush asked Zucker to give them a hug.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the bus.
Like a little
Okay,
hug, darling?
absolutely. Melania said this was
Bushy. I
okay.
just got off the bus.
Bushy.
There we go. Excellent.
Bush was suspended by the Today Show shortly after the tape went viral.
As you can see, Billy Bush not joining us today, as you're probably aware, part of that 2005 Access Hollywood taping with Donald Trump that's been in the news all weekend.
NBC, which owns Access Hollywood, has suspended Billy for his role in that conversation, pending further review.
Morality clause. It doesn't even end there. Reports hit that Bush had been bragging about the tape to Today Show staffers during their Summer Olympic coverage, but that he didn't bother telling NBC News. This adds up to a potential violation of the morality clause in his contract with the network, according to one insider who spoke with Page 6. Billy was bragging about the tape to the other NBC staff while in Rio. If you knew about the tape and remembered the full extent of such an explosive conversation with a presidential candidate and didn't disclose that to NBC News, that is a very, very serious problem. After the leak, Us Weekly spoke to an insider at NBC who confirmed that coworkers weren't too fond of Bush in the first place. The source went so far as to say that today's Tamron Hall, Lauer, and Roker all strongly dislike him. Meanwhile, a show staffer told People, "I don't want to see him again, and I think there are a lot of women who feel the same way. I know this will have to be addressed by the producers and NBC. It has to be, or else they'll have a mutiny on their hands."
Let Uncle Bushy read you guys a story, okay?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos like the one you just saw, and leave us a comment to let us know what you think of Billy Bush.